Sam Walton's statement about how everybody in an organization is affected by the customer brings about another thought, because he talks about how everybody from the person that sweeps the floor all the way up through the CEO is affected by where the customer spends their money. Something else, if we'll think about that, is the reality that every individual at a company has a job for a reason. That every job is important at a company, whether they're the maintenance individual or whether they're the CEO of the company or anybody in between. We have a job for a reason. I don't know, I doubt if I ask the question, is anybody here, do you have, are you able to finish what you do every day and take maybe an hour break and read a book or something like that? That's one of the jokes I tell. You know, it doesn't happen. But I can remember times in industry, 10, 15 years ago when I talked to people, and there would be people within organizations that said, yeah, I bring a library book or I bring a novel with me. But our economy has changed over the last 10 or 15 years. Through attrition and through streamlining, we are now more efficient than we used to be. And just about everybody in organizations now has got far more to do than they can do. And that's called job security. It's why we keep working. It's why we come back. There is a job to do, and every job is critical. George Patton, General George Patton, it was well known for going to his lieutenants and captains and people like that and saying, go find out what your people do well and help them do it better. He didn't say go find out where they're messing up and fix it. He said find out what they do really well and help them do it better. And that's what, by asking these questions, you know, what do you like? What is it about your job that you think you do really well? What do you like about your job? Well, you find out a lot of good stuff that way, and then you help develop those strengths. As opposed to consistently looking for rules that are violated, ways they mess up, things they don't do right. Look for what they do really well and reward them for that. Guess what? They'll work on fixing the things that don't work. The more rewarded they are for the good stuff they do, the more they will focus on doing good stuff. If people consistently mess up and you tell them about it, what will they do? They'll keep doing it, won't they? What gets rewarded gets repeated. If all the conversations you ever have with an employee are negative about something they're not doing correctly and you never give them positive feedback, then they're going to think, I'm a screw-up. So what does it matter? I'll just keep screwing up. It's proven. That's what happens. You've got to reward people from a positive aspect. Talk to them about what they like. What do they value as a customer? And of course the external customer, these apply to them, but I think this was more apropos for us to talk about the people that we work around, the people that we work together, because the relationships work two ways. It's a value there. You've got to create the trust. You've got to create a communication base. You've got to have the willingness there. You know, you hear about open door policies all the time. Well, that's not about whether or not the door swings. You know, that's about accessibility and the ability to communication, to communicate together, the ability to, if I've got a question that I can come to you and ask and you won't put me down, you won't treat me like I'm a moron, you know, and you'll treat me like I have a valid opinion. So very important. The relationship's got to work both ways. You've got a, let's say you've got a steady personality, and you're talking to this person, and you need to tell them a process that they need to follow. How would you explain that process to a, what we call a steady personality? Anybody? This kind of person likes facts and figures, isn't it? Look at your notes there in the book. You know, this kind of person that likes, they like steadiness and stability. They like systems. So we might talk in terms of systems. Maybe it's they're submitting a claim. Well, the best way to explain how to do that to this person is, here's what we've got to do. First report of injury, doctor's reports, whatever the process is. Go through step by step and explain to this person exactly how everything has to flow, because they like systems. And so if you explain it to them in terms of a system, then they'll understand that a lot better. Does that make sense? And so that's one of the ways that we can use personalities to understand how to people to come on board, get people to come on board with our ideas. And you may recognize that in the people that work for you too, that you may have some people that are more big picture oriented, they're more about the feelings of others, they're the kind of, this second personality, the influential personality. They may be the office wit.